I found the receipt on a Tuesday. It was tucked into the pocket of my husband David's jacket. I was doing laundry, and there it was, a restaurant receipt from last Thursday night, dinner for two, wine, steak, dessert, $180. Last Thursday night, David told me he was working late. A client meeting that ran long, he'd said. He came home after 10 p.m., smelling like cologne and looking exhausted. I stood there in the laundry room holding that receipt, and my heart started racing. This wasn't the first strange thing I'd noticed. There had been other signs: unexplained absences, phone calls he took in another room, text messages that made him smile in ways I hadn't seen in years. My husband was cheating on me. I was sure of it. My name is Laura Chen. I'm 53 years old. David and I have been married for 32 years. We have two sons, both grown and living on their own. We've had a good marriage. Not perfect, but good. We've weathered storms together, financial troubles, health scares, the normal struggles of a long marriage. But this felt different. This felt like the end. I confronted him that night over dinner. "Where were you last Thursday?" "Working late," I told you. "Really?" "Because I found a receipt from Chez Margot. Dinner for two." David's face went pale. He put down his fork slowly. "Laura, I can explain." "I'm sure you can. Let me guess. A client dinner?" "Not exactly." "Then what, exactly?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "I can't tell you." "Not yet." "You can't tell me. Your wife of 32 years. You can't tell me why you're sneaking around having romantic dinners with someone. It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" "Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're having an affair." "I'm not having an affair." "Then who are you with?" "I can't tell you yet. But I promise it's not what you think. You have to trust me." "Trust you?" "You're lying to me about where you've been. You're sneaking around. You're asking me to trust you while giving me every reason not to." "I know how this looks. But I swear to you I'm not cheating. In a few weeks, I'll be able to explain everything. But right now, I need you to trust me." I stared at him across the table. This man I'd been married to for 3 decades, the father of my children, my best friend. And I didn't believe him. "I can't do this," I said. "I can't sit here and pretend everything's fine while you're obviously lying to me." "Laura, please." "No. If you can't be honest with me, then I don't know what we're doing here." I left the table, went upstairs to our bedroom, locked the door. David knocked for a while, pleading with me to let him in, to let him explain. But I didn't open the door. The next few days were terrible. We barely spoke. David kept trying to talk to me, to explain, but he wouldn't actually tell me what was going on. Just kept saying I had to trust him, that he'd explain soon, that it wasn't what I thought. But I knew what I knew. The signs were all there. The late nights, the secretive phone calls, the way he'd started dressing better, wearing cologne again. He was having an affair, and he was lying about it. I called my sister Marie. She lived 2 states away, but we talked every week. "He's definitely cheating," I told her. "All the signs are there." "Did you ask him directly?" "Yes, he says he's not, but he won't tell me what's actually going on. Just says I have to trust him." "That's suspicious." "That's what I think. If there was an innocent explanation, he'd just tell me." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know. Part of me wants to hire a private investigator, follow him, get proof." "And then what? File for divorce?" "Maybe. I don't know. I just need to know the truth." So I did it. I hired a private investigator, a woman named Sandra who came highly recommended. She said she could follow David, document where he went and who he met with, and give me proof one way or another. "Most cases like this are exactly what you think they are," Sandra told me during our first meeting. "But sometimes there are surprises. I'll find out the truth for you." Sandra started following David the next week. She'd send me updates, photos of him leaving work, going to restaurants, meeting people for coffee. And then, 3 days into the surveillance, Sandra sent me a photo that stopped my heart. David was sitting at a coffee shop with a young woman. She looked to be in her late 20s, dark hair, Asian features, beautiful. She was leaning across the table, talking animatedly. David was listening intently, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in years. The caption under the photo: subject meeting with unknown woman. Second meeting this week at same location. They appear very comfortable together. There it was, proof. My husband was cheating on me with a woman half his age, and I felt sick, I felt angry, I felt betrayed. 32 years of marriage, and this is what it came to. Sandra sent more photos over the next few days. David and this woman having lunch, walking in the park. At one point, David had his arm around her shoulders. She was laughing at something he said. I confronted him again, showed him the photos. Who is she? David looked at the photos and his face crumpled. Where did you get these? I hired someone to follow you. Since you wouldn't tell me the truth, I found it out myself. Laura, this isn't what it looks like. It looks like you're having an affair with a woman young enough to be your daughter. I'm not having an affair. Then who is she? Why are you meeting her? Why are you lying to me about it? David sat down heavily. He looked defeated. I was going to tell you. Next week, I had it all planned out. But now, tell me now, who is she? He looked up at me with tears in his eyes. Her name is May, and she's our daughter. The world stopped. What? She's our daughter. Our biological daughter. From before we were married. David, we don't have a daughter. We have 2 sons. We do have a daughter. You just didn't know about her. I sat down because my legs wouldn't hold me anymore. Explain. Right now. And he did. The story came tumbling out. The story I'd never heard before. Before David and I got together, he'd been in a relationship with a woman named Lynn. They'd been young, barely 20. Lynn got pregnant. They'd talked about what to do. Lynn wanted to keep the baby. David wasn't ready to be a father. They fought. Eventually, Lynn told him to leave. She'd raised the baby on her own. David left, moved across the country, started a new life. Met me a few years later. We fell in love, got married, had our 2 sons. And he never told me about the daughter he'd left behind. Why didn't you tell me? I whispered. Because I was ashamed. Because I was young and stupid and I abandoned my child. Because I thought if you knew, you wouldn't want to be with me. So you lied to me for 32 years? I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. There's a difference. No, David, there's not. I know I should have told you, but as time went on, it got harder and harder. And then we had our sons, and I thought maybe it didn't matter anymore. Maybe that part of my life was just over. How did you find her? This daughter? She found me 3 months ago. She did one of those DNA tests, the ancestry ones, and my name came up as a match. Her mother had told her about me. She knew I existed. She'd been looking for me. 3 months ago? You've known about her for 3 months and didn't tell me. I didn't know how. I needed time to process it myself, to meet her, to figure out if she was really my daughter. And is she? Yes, we did a DNA test. She's mine. She's ours. She's not ours, David. She's yours. I had nothing to do with her. But she's our family. Laura, we have a daughter. A beautiful, smart, amazing daughter who wants to know us. Know you. She wants to know you, not me. I'm nothing to her. That's not true. She wants to meet you. She's been asking about you since the first day we met. I just wanted to get to know her a little bit first, to make sure this was real. And then I was going to bring her home, introduce you, explain everything. Instead, I thought you were cheating on me. I know, and I'm so sorry. I should have told you from the beginning, but I was scared of how you'd react, scared you'd be angry that I kept this from you all these years. I am angry. I'm furious. I know. We sat in silence. My mind was racing. David had a daughter he'd never told me about, a daughter who was out there somewhere, in the world, and I'd known nothing about her. I want to meet her, I said finally. Really? Yes. If she's your daughter, if she's part of our family, then I want to meet her. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. I'll set it up. This weekend, I'll bring her here and you can meet her properly. What's she like? David's face lit up. She's amazing. She's a teacher, second grade. She's funny and kind, and she's been so understanding about all of this. She could have been angry that I wasn't there for her growing up, but she wasn't. She just wanted to know me. And her mother, Lynn, she died 2 years ago. Cancer. That's part of why May started looking for me. She doesn't have any family left. My anger softened a little. This young woman had lost her mother and went looking for her father. That must have taken courage. Okay, I said, bring her here Saturday. Let's meet this daughter of yours. The rest of the week was strange. David and I were talking again, but there was tension. I was hurt that he'd kept this from me. Hurt that he'd lied for 3 months while meeting with May. Hurt that I'd thought he was cheating when actually he was building a relationship with a daughter I didn't know existed. But I was also curious. What was May like? Would she look like David? Would we get along? Saturday came. I was nervous all morning. I cleaned the house, made a nice lunch, tried on 3 different outfits before settling on one. She's going to love you, David said, watching me fuss. She's nervous too. This is hard for her. Meeting her father's wife, wondering if you'll accept her. I don't know if I can accept her. I don't even know her yet. Just give her a chance. That's all I'm asking. The doorbell rang at noon. David went to answer it. I stayed in the kitchen, my heart pounding. I heard voices in the hallway. David's and a woman's, then footsteps, and then she was standing in my kitchen. May. David's daughter. Our daughter, he'd called her. She was beautiful. Late 20s, like I'd seen in the photos. Dark hair, dark eyes, delicate features. She looked like David. The same nose, the same smile. But there was something else there, too. Something in the way she stood, the way she looked at me. Mrs. Chen, I'm May. It's so nice to finally meet you. She extended her hand. I shook it. Her hand was small and warm. Please call me Laura. Laura, thank you for agreeing to meet me. I know this must be weird for you. It is weird. But it's nice to meet you too. We sat down for lunch. It was awkward at first. We were all trying too hard, making small talk about the weather and traffic. But gradually we relaxed. May told us about her life, growing up in Portland with her mother, becoming a teacher, her apartment in the city, her cat named Mittens. My mother told me about you, May said to David. She said you were young when she got pregnant, that you weren't ready to be a father. She didn't blame you for leaving. She said it was the right choice for everyone at the time. That's generous of her, David said. I've felt guilty about it for 30 years. She wanted you to know she didn't regret having me, that I was the best thing that ever happened to her. I'm glad. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I missed watching you grow up. You're here now. That's what matters. After lunch, David went to take a phone call. May and I were alone in the kitchen. This must be so strange for you, May said, finding out your husband had a daughter he never told you about. It is strange. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was cheating on me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause problems in your marriage. You didn't cause anything. David's choices caused this, not you. Still, I could have waited longer before reaching out, but I was so excited to find him. And I've lost so much time already. My mom is gone. I don't have any other family. Finding David felt like finding a missing piece of myself. I understand that. Family is important. Do you think you could ever see me as family? I know I'm not your daughter, but I'm David's daughter. And if you're married to David, that makes us something. I don't know what, but something. I looked at this young woman sitting in my kitchen, David's daughter, a person I'd known nothing about a week ago. But looking at her, I felt something. Not motherly love, not yet, but connection, curiosity, the beginning of something. I don't know what we are to each other, I said honestly, but I'm willing to find out. May's face lit up. Really? You mean it? I mean it. This is all new and strange, and I'm still processing. But you're David's daughter. And that means you're part of his life, which means you're part of mine. Thank you. That means more to me than you know. Over the next few weeks, May became part of our lives. She came over for dinner once a week. She met our sons, who were shocked to learn they had a half sister. They got along well, actually. May fit into our family easier than I expected. And slowly I started to see her as more than just David's daughter. She was funny and smart. She cared about education and children. She asked about my work, my interests, my life. She didn't just want a relationship with David. She wanted one with me too. 3 months after we met, May called me crying. She'd had a bad day at school. A parent had yelled at her. She was questioning whether she was a good teacher. "You're an amazing teacher," I told her. "I can tell just from the way you talk about your students. You care about them. That's what matters." "Thank you. I just needed to hear that. I almost called David, but then I thought, maybe I could call you instead. You can always call me. Anytime." After we hung up, I realized something. May hadn't just called David, she'd called me because she saw me as someone she could turn to, as family. 6 months after we met, May invited us to a school event. Her students were performing a play they'd written. She wanted us there. We went, David and me and our 2 sons. We sat in tiny chairs, watching second graders perform a play about vegetables, learning to get along. It was adorable and chaotic, and May was glowing with pride. After the play, her students came up to meet us. "Is this your family, Miss May?" one little girl asked. "Yes," May said without hesitation. "This is my dad and my mom and my brothers." My mom. She'd called me her mom. In front of her students, without asking if it was okay, just claiming me as her mother. I should have corrected her. Should have said I was her stepmother or her father's wife or something more accurate, but I didn't, because hearing her say it felt right. Later in the car, David said, "She called you her mom." I know. How do you feel about that? I don't know. It's strange, but also nice. She loves you, you know. She told me. She said she never expected to have a mother again after Lynn died, but you've been so kind to her, so welcoming. It means everything to her. She's easy to love. She's a good person. She is. I'm so grateful she found us, found me, that she gave me a second chance. A year after we met May, we were planning a family vacation. Our son suggested we invite May too. "She should come," my younger son said. "She's family. Why would we leave her out?" So we invited her. May cried when we asked, "Really? You want me to come on a family vacation?" "Of course," I said, "your family." "I know, but I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to push myself into places I don't belong. You belong with us." We went to a cabin in the mountains, 5 of us, David and me and our 3 kids, because that's what May was now, one of our kids. One night, May and I stayed up late talking while the others had gone to bed. We were sitting on the porch, looking at the stars. "Can I ask you something?" May said. "Of course." "Do you resent me for existing, for being proof that David had a life before you?" "I did at first. When I first found out about you, I was angry. Angry at David for keeping it secret. And maybe a little angry at you for existing, even though that wasn't fair. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't ask for your father to leave. And now? Now I'm grateful. You've brought something to our family that was missing. Joy, new perspectives, a reminder that family can grow and change and take unexpected forms. I'm grateful too. When my mom died, I thought that was it. I thought I'd be alone for the rest of my life. But then I found David, and he led me to you, and now I have a whole family. It's more than I ever dreamed of. We're lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you too, Mom. She said it tentatively, testing it out. Is it okay if I call you that? I know you're not my biological mother, but you've been more of a mother to me this past year than I ever expected to have again. I thought about it. A year ago, if someone had told me I'd have a stepdaughter calling me mom, I would have laughed. But now, it felt natural. "Yes," I said, "you can call me mom." May hugged me. "Thank you. For everything. For giving me a chance. for not hating me for complicating your life. You didn't complicate my life. You enriched it. 2 years after we met May, she got engaged to a man named James who worked as a social worker. He was kind and patient and perfect for her. May asked me to help plan the wedding. I know I should ask James's mom to help too, but I wanted you to be involved. You're my mom. I want you there for all of it. We planned the wedding together, chose flowers and venues and dresses. It felt surreal sometimes. This young woman who I'd known nothing about 2 years ago was now asking for my opinion on seating charts and centerpieces. The night before the wedding, May came to our house. She wanted to stay with us. For luck, she said, and because I want to be with my family the night before I get married. We stayed up late, the two of us, talking about marriage and life and the future. She asked me for advice about being a wife, about making a marriage work. The most important thing is honesty, I said. Don't keep secrets. Don't hide things. Be open about how you feel, what you need, what scares you. Like David should have been with you. About me. Exactly like that. If David had told me about you from the beginning, we could have dealt with it together. But because he kept it secret, it created problems. Don't do that to James. I won't. I promise. On the wedding day, May asked me to walk her down the aisle, along with David. Traditionally, the father walks the bride down the aisle, she said. But I want both my parents. Both of you. So we did. David and I walked May down the aisle together. She held both our arms. She was radiant and beautiful and so happy. During the reception, May gave a speech. She thanked James's family for welcoming her. She thanked her friends for celebrating with her. And then she turned to us. 2.5 years ago, I did a DNA test on a whim. I wasn't expecting anything. I thought I was alone in the world. But that test led me to my father, and my father led me to my mother, and both of them led me to a family I never knew I was missing. David, thank you for giving me a chance, for not turning me away when I showed up out of nowhere claiming to be your daughter. Thank you for introducing me to your world, your family, your life. And Laura, she looked directly at me. Thank you for being my mom. I know that wasn't the role you expected to play. I know finding out about me was a shock. But you welcomed me anyway. You made space for me in your life and your heart. You showed me what it means to be a mother. Even when biology doesn't connect you, I love you. Thank you for loving me back. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. After the speech, David turned to me. Thank you. For what? For not giving up on us. When you thought I was cheating, you could have left. When you found out about May, you could have been angry forever. But you didn't. You stayed. You gave both of us a chance. And because of that, we have this family, this love. I'm glad I stayed. Me too. 3 years after we met May, she gave birth to her first child, a girl named Lynn, after her mother. David and I were at the hospital when she was born. When the nurse brought Lynn out, May handed her to me first. Here, Grandma. Meet your granddaughter. Grandma. I was a grandmother. Not biologically to this baby, but in every way that mattered. I held Lynn and looked at her perfect little face and felt love I hadn't expected. She's beautiful, I whispered. She is. And she's lucky. She's going to have so many people who love her. 2 sets of grandparents, 3 uncles, and you, her grandma Laura. I thought back to 3 years ago, to the receipt I'd found in David's pocket, to the private investigator I'd hired, to the photos of David with a beautiful young woman that I'd been sure proved he was cheating. I'd been so wrong. He wasn't cheating. He was building a bridge to a daughter he'd never known, a daughter who would become mine too, a daughter who would expand our family in ways we never imagined. David, I said later that night, do you ever think about what would have happened if May hadn't found us? All the time. We would have lived the rest of our lives never knowing she existed. She would have been alone after Lynn died. We would have missed out on knowing her, on being part of her life. I'm glad she found us. Yeah, me too. Even though it started with you thinking I was having an affair. He smiled. That wasn't funny at the time. I know. I'm sorry I put you through that. I should have told you immediately when May reached out. I was just scared. I understand why you were scared. But David, no more secrets, no more surprises. If a long-lost child shows up, I want to know about it right away. He laughed. Deal. Though I'm pretty sure May is the only secret child I have. Better be. 4 years after we met May, our whole family gathered for Thanksgiving. Our 2 sons and their partners, May and James and baby Lynn, David and me. We were a big, chaotic, happy family. During dinner, someone asked how David and May had reconnected. May told the story of the DNA test and the search for her father. I was so nervous when I first contacted him, May said. I thought he might not want to know me, or that he'd deny I was his daughter, but he didn't. He agreed to meet me, and then he introduced me to all of you, and you all welcomed me. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. It's one of the best things that happened to us too, our older son said. We never had a sister before. Now we have one, and she's pretty cool. Pretty cool? May laughed. I'm very cool. Fine. You're very cool. After dinner, I found myself alone in the kitchen with May. She was helping me clean up. Thank you, she said, for everything, for these past 4 years, for being my family. You don't have to keep thanking me. Your family, that's what family does. I know, but I don't take it for granted. I know how lucky I am. Not every story like mine ends happily. Not every father wants to know the child he left behind. Not every stepmother welcomes that child with open arms. But you did, both of you did, and it changed my life. It changed our lives too, in good ways. Do you ever wish things had been different? That David had told you about me from the beginning, that you'd known about me all along? Sometimes. But then I think about how we met, the circumstances that brought us together, and I think maybe it happened exactly the way it was supposed to. If David had told me 30 years ago that he had a daughter, maybe I would have reacted differently. Maybe I wouldn't have been ready to accept you. But meeting you as an adult, seeing who you'd become, made it easier to welcome you into our family. I like that way of thinking about it, that everything happened when it was supposed to. Me too. I thought my husband was cheating. I saw the receipts, the secret meetings, the way he smiled at his phone. All the signs were there. I was sure of it, but I was wrong. He wasn't meeting a mistress. He was meeting our daughter, a daughter I didn't know existed, a daughter he'd left behind before we were married, a daughter who'd found her way back to us. It should have been a scandal, a betrayal, a reason to end our marriage. But instead, it became the beginning of something beautiful, a family expanding to include someone we never knew we were missing. May came into our lives like a storm, unexpected and powerful and changing everything. But she wasn't a destructive storm. She was the kind that clears the air and leaves everything fresh and new. 4 years later, she's not just David's daughter. She's our daughter, mine and his. Not biologically mine, but mine in all the ways that matter. I'm the person she calls when she has a bad day. I'm the grandmother to her daughter. I'm the mother of the bride at her wedding. And David? He's not the man who lied to me for 32 years anymore. He's the man who gave me a daughter I never expected. He's the father who took a second chance and made it into something amazing. I thought my husband was cheating, but he was doing something that might have been even scarier. He was changing our family forever. He was bringing someone new into our lives. He was asking me to make room in my heart for a stranger. And I'm so glad I did, because that stranger became my daughter. And our family is better, richer, fuller, because she's in it. The receipt I found in David's pocket that Tuesday afternoon. It wasn't evidence of an affair. It was the beginning of the best surprise of my life. A daughter, a family expanded, a love I never saw coming. Sometimes the things we fear most turn out to be the things we needed all along. Sometimes the secrets that threaten to destroy us actually save us. Sometimes the woman your husband is meeting isn't his mistress. She's your daughter. And sometimes the best thing that can happen to a marriage is finding out it was big enough to hold one more person all along.